From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
For most of us today, the clouds are winning the battle, although northwest of Lansing, we've got some sunshine out now, and it's right on our doorstep. We'll eventually break into mostly clear skies later tonight. We'll broaden out the view. Northern portions of lower Michigan, brilliant sunshine all afternoon. Any rainfall is well to our southeast. Still, though, it was a pleasant day. Temperatures currently at 72 for Lansing, near 80 in Mount Pleasant with more sunshine, but 69 currently in Jackson with thick cloud cover hanging on. Tonight's forecast will break back into clear skies later tonight. Temperatures upper 50s by tomorrow morning, so a bit of a cool start, and it gets even colder as we head into next week. 6 News at 5 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
Thousands of students in many mid-Michigan school districts return to the classroom today. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. School is now back in session for much of mid-Michigan, and that also means drivers should expect to see a lot more foot and school bus traffic in the greater Lansing and Jackson areas. In fact, authorities across our region are pleading for people to be prepared to stop for buses and pedestrians. Officials with the Michigan State Police say buses are still the safest form of transportation for getting students to and from school. They also say the majority of bus-related deaths and injuries happen when children exit the vehicle to cross traffic. So that's why it's important that when you see a school bus with flashing yellow lights, you must slow down and be prepared to stop. State law also requires drivers to stop at least 20 feet away from the front or rear of a school bus when its red lights are flashing. Those who pass stopped school buses could face civil infractions carrying a fine between $100 to $500. We have a new update on Waverly Community Schools. The district needs to make more schedule changes for the start of the school year. Construction setbacks forced the district to push back its start date to tomorrow, but the rain yesterday is now forcing the first day of school to next week. Winans Elementary, as well as Waverly Middle and High School, will now start this upcoming Monday, the 25th. However, students at Colt Early Childhood Education Center and Elmwood Elementary and East Intermediate will still return to the classroom tomorrow. And as your kids get ready for school, you could win a $100 Visa gift card simply by submitting a single photo of your child or children going back to school. When choosing a single photo, we suggest that you avoid including recognizable locations and only use first names or ages. This contest runs through September 8th at 1 p.m. The winner will be chosen by a random draw of all the entries. You can only enter one photo. The White House is now calling for a review of materials in all the Smithsonian museums ahead of America's 250th birthday next year. The administration says it wants these museums to make sure what's on display aligns with, quote, American values, and as Trump stated, less about slavery. Washington Bureau correspondent Trevor Shirley is here for you now with more on this controversial decision.
This review follows a call by the president from earlier this year to remove what he calls radical ideology from Smithsonian museums.
Last week, the White House announced it's ordering a wide-ranging review of what the Smithsonian museums have on display. In a letter to the Smithsonian Institution's secretary, the White House says it expects a review of all public-facing content to, quote, assess tone, historical framing, and alignment with American ideals. The White House, in part, says the review is to make sure the Smithsonian museums, quote, celebrate American exceptionalism and remove divisive or partisan narratives. The Smithsonian Institution runs 17 different sites around Washington, D.C., including gardens and the National Zoo, all of which are free to the public, funded by donations and tax dollars. According to the White House, the review will focus initially on these 8 museums, generally among the most popular and highly visited Smithsonian sites, all of which are located on or near the National Mall. But the White House says the review could extend to others in the group as well. In a post on Truth Social this week, President Donald Trump accusing the Smithsonian of being, quote, out of control, a place where, quote, everything discussed is how horrible our country is, how bad slavery was, and how unaccomplished the downtrodden have been. The president, in part, goes on to say the museums don't talk about, quote, success, brightness, or the future. In response to the review, the Smithsonian said it remains committed to White House, Congress, and its Board of Regents. Already, the Smithsonian has denied allegations that it's removed or adjusted exhibit details in response to pressure from the administration.
The White House says it expects a response from the Smithsonian within the next 30 days and for the institution to take, quote, corrective action within the next 4 months. Reporting in Washington, I'm Trevor Shirley.
Authorities are still investigating a deadly crash in Ingham County that killed a 53-year-old Mason man on Monday. Officers say his vehicle collided with a semi-truck near M52 and Howell Road. 6 News reporter Sean Graney shares the latest from investigators and why neighbors say this stretch of road has been a concern for a long time.
I'm standing here on M52 highway where 53-year-old Jeffrey Went tragically lost his life Monday. And neighbors nearby say disasters like these are far too common.
And then probably a couple minutes after that, I heard all the sirens coming down to Howell Mason Road.
A community devastated.
Everyone came in. They were all talking about it. A lot of people did ask if we knew who it was because they are from the area.
The Ingham County Sheriff's Office says Went was traveling eastbound on Howell Road and failed to stop at the stop sign.
There was a semi traveling southbound and there's no stop sign there southbound, and there's a stop sign eastbound Howell at M52, and that vehicle just ran the stop sign.
Captain Danzer of the Ingham County Sheriff's Office says the crash is under investigation, but adds sunlight could be a natural cause.
Certainly we've had problems in that intersection with the sun being in the eyes and in folks' eyes and the timing of that. So that could be a contributor, but certainly the investigation isn't done.
Kelly Heffentrager is the food and beverage manager at Choice Farm Market just up the street from the crash site. She says crashes like these on M52 happen frequently.
Just from people coming in, the roads being backed up. We always know if there's an accident on the highway or on this road because the whole road gets pretty lined up real fast.
The next step is just our investigators putting all the pieces together, gathering all the evidence they can to try to get a good picture as to what happened.
The intersection between Howell Road and M52 is now back open for full access, and stay with 6 News for more updates as we continue to learn more. Here for you in Mason, Sean Graney, 6 News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
It's that time of the year where change is just what we have to get used to, with lots of ups and downs temperature-wise. Sometimes it's going to be cold. Sometimes the muggy hot weather returns. On this high temperature trend, though, the warmest day we've got is Friday at 84 degrees, and it won't be too humid. Look at the highs by Monday in the upper 60s as we have cloud cover and maybe some lake-enhanced rain showers in the area, and overnight lows in the 40s. Could feel quite chilly to start next week. How about the low temperature trend? We don't often talk about that, but that's important as well. We've got some mild nights with 60s on tap, generally in the 50s, however, except for next Tuesday and Wednesday when we could be in the mid to the upper 40s and maybe a little bit colder than that. So it's going to feel quite chilly again for Monday night into Tuesday, and possibly into Wednesday morning as well. Our current temperatures, though, looking good outside. Currently 72 in Lansing. St. John's a little warmer at 74. So is Ionia, because we've got more in the way of sunshine to the north and northwest. The more clouds you run into, the more we're stuck in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Our Skyview network, you can see a lot of the breaks now in the clouds on the McLaren cam. Temperatures now up to 72. Breezy outside today with a peak wind of 20 miles per hour. As we head into Grand Ledge, again, you can see some breaks now showing up. Temperatures up to 73. Our wind gusts only 1 mile per hour, but at times there have been some other gusts around town a little bit higher than that. In Jackson, still cloudy skies. Temperature 69 degrees. North winds at 8. Humidity 75%. It's been a brisk afternoon across southern sections of mid-Michigan. Hillsdale, the same thing, 68 currently, peak wind at 13 miles per hour, humidity high at 87%. The satellite and radar shows the clearing line now moving through, so eventually we'll get back into clear skies late tonight. Precision cast as we head through tomorrow morning. A few more clouds may filter through, but it's going to be pretty quiet here, so we turn our attention to Hurricane Erin spinning its way up the east coast. Lots of beach erosion, high surf along the coast, but the hurricane itself is going to stay out to sea, so that is great news as it begins to recurve and head to the north and east. For us, we're just watching the big blue area of high pressure as it centers itself right over mid-Michigan by early Friday morning. Friday afternoon, there goes our tropical system moving away, and we are in store for a bit of a warm-up as the backside of this high will push temperatures back into the 80s. Tonight's forecast, your overnight low down to 59, pretty pleasant outside. Skies eventually become mostly clear, although there could be a few clouds around tomorrow morning. We'll break back into sunshine with mostly sunny skies during the day. Highs tomorrow right on the average of 80 degrees. That's where we should be. The 6-day forecast on Friday, temps in the mid-80s. A little cooler Saturday with some showers. It looks like instead of the morning, it's going to be like midday for the best chance of rain showers. Out of here Sunday, but by Monday, more rain showers return with some really cool air. Temperatures the remainder of next week slowly warm back into the upper 70s to near 80, and not a whole lot happening as far as storm systems go. We'll see if we have to add one here or there, but at this point, it looks like an extended period of really nice weather.
Hey, that's what we want to hear.
Yeah, we do. No doubt.
We deserve it. We appreciate it.